Hey everyone, today on People Now, Tina Fey tears up after the incredible success of a COVID-19 telethon.
The latest in the controversy involving Chrissy Teigen, Marie Kondo, and cookbook author Alison Roman.
The great Cary Elwes shares some of his favorite memories of Hollywood icon Garry Marshall.
We have a good time of poking fun at me.
It's the big show. Paul White tells us about taking on his biggest challenge yet, becoming a TV sitcom dad.
Spritz me, baby, one more time.
Hollywood star Laura Harrier talks about working with goofball Darren Criss on their new Netflix hit.
And Girls Got Moves. We have a fun idea for the whole family to do at home. All that and more today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to People Now. Happy Tuesday. I'm Andrea Boehlke here in Wisconsin. It's a very sunny day today, so I'm feeling good. Jeremy, how are you doing in New York?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. And there's a lot to come today. We have an interview with Cary Elwes that we did. He's such an iconic actor, so many great roles, all of it about honoring Garry Marshall with a huge special that's coming up. So that, plus the big show, Paul White. If I don't know, any wrestling fans out there, you're going to love this conversation about his new show. That's coming up. But we begin with this. Here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Tina Fey got emotional Monday night while hosting the Rise Up New York, the Robin Hood Relief Benefit. It was a star-studded virtual telethon to raise money for the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the night went amazingly, with Tina even getting choked up as she read the final tally on air. She was so blown away, she even quickly asked the producer if it was really true. Let's take a quick look at that emotional moment.
Is this real? Okay. $115 million. We did this. You did this. We are difference makers. $115 million. What a great day for New York. Thank you to everyone who gave and gave and gave from all over the world.
Wow, $115 million is so incredible. Tina hosted the telethon from her old stomping grounds at 30 Rock. That's where Saturday Night Live is filmed. She spent the hour asking for donations to help with relief and recovery, alongside a long list of fellow A-listers. You had Jennifer Lopez, Robert De Niro, Bette Midler. You had Sarah Jessica Parker, her husband Matthew Broderick, and comedian Chris Rock.
And Jake Gyllenhaal, Rosie Perez, Jimmy Fallon, Trevor Noah, special performances from Mariah Carey, Bon Jovi, and of course, New York icon Billy Joel. It was a star-packed night for sure.
Tina talked about the impact COVID-19 has had on New York, saying in part, hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are out of work and 2 million of our neighbors are now going hungry. We're going to honor this incredible city and show how we can rise up and help our neighbors in need. All donations from the virtual telethon will go to Robin Hood's efforts to provide food, shelter, mental health support, education, financial, and legal services to those in need.
As of Tuesday morning, more than 1.3 million people in the United States have been infected with coronavirus and over 80,000 have died. In New York City alone, there have been over 190,000 cases and nearly 20,000 deaths. If you're in a position to donate, you can visit robinhood.org for more information.
All right, switching gears to this, Ink Master tattooist Daniel Silva has been arrested for murder following the death of YouTube star Corey Barrie, who was killed in a car crash on Sunday.
According to authorities, the fatal incident occurred just after 9:30 p.m. in the Valley Village area of Los Angeles when a 2020 McLaren 600 LT, allegedly driven by Silva, was traveling at a high rate of speed and ran off the road, colliding with a stop sign and a tree. According to the LAPD, no other vehicles were involved in the collision.
The Los Angeles Police Department's Valley Traffic Division announced the arrest of Silva one day after the fatal crash. Authorities allege that Silva exited the vehicle and attempted to leave the scene, but was stopped by citizens who came to render aid.
The Los Angeles-based tattoo artist, most known for appearing on season 10 of the competition series Ink Masters, was injured. He was photographed at the scene by the Los Angeles Daily News, being stretched into an ambulance.
TMZ reports that Barrie was in the passenger seat and celebrating his 25th birthday. He had over 330,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 200,000 followers on Instagram.
Barrie's brother paid tribute to him on Instagram and claimed that Barrie died in a car accident with his drunk friend driving. He later added in part, quote, "I don't know how I'm supposed to do this without you. I miss you so much already. Thank you for always being the best big brother I could ask for. I love you." A rep for Silva has not responded to People's request for comment.
Chrissy Teigen seems to be moving on after cookbook author Alison Roman formally apologized for her controversial comments, which singled out Teigen and Marie Kondo and even referred to them as sellouts. On Monday night, Teigen wrote a series of tweets about it, which read in part, "To be clear, it never once crossed my mind for you to apologize for what you genuinely thought. The comments stung, but they more so stung because they came from you."
Teigen went on to add, quote, "I still think you are incredibly talented, and in an industry that doesn't really lend itself to supporting more than a handful of people at a time, I feel like all we have are each other." Here's some background on this whole situation if you're just catching up. In an interview with The New Consumer, Allison Roman referred to Chrissy Teigen's cooking website as a content farm, saying in part, quote, "What Chrissy Teigen has done is so crazy to me. She had a successful cookbook, and then it was like, boom, line at Target. Boom, now she has an Instagram page that has over 1 million followers, where it's just like people running a content farm for her." Roman went on to say, "I don't aspire to that, but who's laughing now? Because she's making a ton of bleeping money."
Then Roman turned to Marie Kondo's business, calling the fact that Kondo now has a product line, quote, "completely antithetical to everything she's ever taught you," going on to add, "I'm like, you just bleeping sold out." Kondo is, of course, famous for the KonMari method of organizing your home by getting rid of items that don't spark joy. Now, Teigen responded to Roman's initial remarks on Twitter Friday, saying it had hit her hard. She also defended herself and her brand, saying this, "I didn't sell out by making my dreams come true."
Roman initially tweeted an apology directed at Teigen, saying in part that she was genuinely sorry to have caused her pain. She then issued a more formal apology on Instagram to both Teigen and Kondo, admitting that she used their names disparagingly and called her words stupid, careless, insensitive, and even tone deaf.
Roman also accepted criticism that her comments could have been perceived as racially charged, writing, quote, "I'm a white woman who has and will continue to benefit from white privilege, and I recognize that makes what I said even more inexcusable and hurtful." She vowed to use this experience as, quote, "motivation to do and be better."
All right, today's story to make you smile comes from my very own 5-year-old. My younger daughter, Adley, has been such a trooper about staying home in our New York City apartment. So when she insisted on putting on a fashion show dance party, we could not say no. And I gotta tell you, honestly, I feel like it turned out pretty glamorous. Take a look. 2, 1, action. Action. And tonight's fashion show brought to you by Abby. What? And tonight's fashion show brought to you by the famous Adley.
Thank you for coming.
This was such a fun, unique way for the whole family to spend some time together. And Adley, by the way, absolutely loved it. No joke. She came up with it. All credit to her. She begged us, like, hey, I want to do it. Yeah. I don't even know where she got it. Honestly, where she got it.
You know how much I love Adley. I'm obsessed with Adley. So anytime you put videos of her on your Instagram, I am glued to them. And this was, yeah, it did not disappoint Jeremy. She's just loving it. She's so adorable.
Fully
so
committed.
Cute.
Fully committed. Since we're fashion show pros now, here's some tips for the runway if you want to do it with your kids. First, pick out the outfits with them beforehand so the changes go faster. Or don't. I guess it depends on how much time you want to burn with this as a parent. You can take a long time if you want, but plan out a playlist of the favorite songs to kind of go for each look, and they can get involved in that. She had some ideas, some good recs for the soundtrack. Themed outfits and songs work well here. Beach day outfits, the glam, and then others. Just, you know, it's just obviously fun. Use what you have to make the area special. I had a ring light. The girls have a little like party, like strobe light with different colors.
Dad's got the hookup.
Dad's got the hookup.
And also, don't be afraid to join in on the fun yourself. Roll the tape.
All right, stay with us. The big show. Paul White is talking to us about being a TV dad versus being a dad in real life. Plus, Cary Elwes shares his fondest memories with us from working with late director Garry Marshall. It's all part of a special tribute you do not want to miss.
Hey there, beautiful lady.
What are you doing?
Just saying hi before my big meeting. What are you so afraid of? You're one of Ace Pictures' newest contract players.
Please. They're paying me $25 a week to take acting classes, and they're not going to like seeing a white man kissing me.
Well, you may feel like an outsider, but when these folks look at you, they don't see one.
In Ryan Murphy's new Netflix series, Hollywood, Laura Harrier plays the fictional character Camille Washington, an actress trying to make it and break barriers in 1940s Hollywood. I caught up with Laura to find out what it was like making the series and to hear about her own experiences in Hollywood, from her roles in Spider-Man Homecoming and BlacKkKlansman to what she has coming next. Take a look. What's the response been like to your character in the show for you?
It's been awesome. I mean, I've gotten so many really kind messages from people just saying how much they loved it and how much they connected with it. It's been really inspiring for me to see a lot of young girls writing me, and especially young Black girls saying that it was really amazing for them to see someone like Camille on screen and see someone of that time period who was able to be celebrated and successful like that, and be able to be intelligent and glamorous and strong and be, celebrated for that in a time period when we really only saw Black women on screen like playing maids. And that was first and foremost my connection to Camille, because I never felt like I felt reflected in that time period watching old movies growing up. So it was really exciting for me to be able to play the first Black movie star and to be somebody who was a source of inspiration for so many younger people.
This show is about reimagining Hollywood if there wasn't this racism and sexism and all these unfair biases, which I think is a really cool glimpse into what could have been. When it comes to progress in Hollywood today, what do you think still needs to be done?
I think we've obviously gone a long way, but there's still ways to go. And that's what's so interesting about our show, is that so many of these themes I'm talking about of representation, not just for people of color, but for women, for people of the LGBTQ community. I mean, it's really only recently that we're starting to make these strides. And I look to people like Ryan Murphy, who have been at the forefront of representation since the beginning of his career. And I hope that more people kind of look to what he's done and the response to it, and how audiences want to see people who look like them and want to see people that they can connect with and stories that they can relate to on screen, and kind of, start to take inspiration, and more people are following suit of what Ryan's doing.
In a cast interview that you did with Entertainment Weekly, you all mentioned you had a chemistry screen test with Darren Criss, but that he was actually kind of the nervous one, and he already had the part. So yeah, what was that experience like for you?
Not to say I wasn't nervous. I was definitely nervous. I mean, it was Ryan Murphy, and also like Darren, who just like won 1 million awards for Versace. Is like the sweetest, least intimidating person once I got in the room with him. Darren was just so kind and sweet, and I think he was so nervous because he had never been on the other side of that situation, and he just didn't want to, do anything to mess me or the other actresses up who were there reading. And I think he just really cared, which is so sweet and so giving, and allowed me to be my best in the scene because he was really trying to be his best.
Yeah, and he's one of your bigger scene partners in the show. When you think about Darren Criss and working with him, what's the fun memory or behind the scenes tidbit that kind of comes to your mind?
He's just a goofball. Like, he's this incredible, talented person, but he's just such a goofball. I mean, we, in one of our more intimate scenes that we were shooting together, we were both a little anxious before. And, it takes forever to shoot a scene like that. So we're there all day. And in between each take, our makeup artist is spraying us with water to look like we were sweating. And for each time she would come spray us, he would sing a song that had the word spritz in it. He would change it. So he'd be like, "Spritz me, baby, one more time."
That's so funny.
But he kept going. It was 20 songs of changing the word spritz. So that definitely kind of lessened our anxiety and gave us some laughs and lightened the mood. It was cute.
Yeah, that's so funny, especially when you see him in some of his other roles. He obviously seems like a very intense guy. So then kind of hearing a story like that, you're like, this is really fun.
Yeah, he's the one making fart noises on set. That's
in general, as a cast, what kind of things would you do to bond?
We just hung out. I mean, it was really nice to work with a group of people where you actually genuinely really like everybody. We really kind of all became friends in this process. Darren has a bar that we would go and hang out at in Hollywood. We have our group chat that's still going all the time, and just sending each other gifts and memes and making jokes.
You've spoken about filming opposite Queen Latifah and how you had zero chill. Were you able to kind of keep it together during filming, or did you kind of fan out over her?
I think once I got my fanning out, I was cool. Maybe not cool. I was just kind of more okay. But still, I mean, it's really surreal to work with someone who you looked at since I was a little kid. I mean, I would go home and watch her on TV, and then to be in a scene with her and for something like Hollywood is really, really crazy. And it also was really helpful, I think, for the scene, because for Camille, that would have been the same way that she felt about Hattie McDaniel. And she was somebody that she grew up watching and seeing on screen. And also at that time would have been the only person who had been nominated for an Oscar who was a person of color. So it really kind of enriched the scenes, I think, a lot. And also, I just wanted to like know all her secrets. Like, her skin is insane. I was just like, what do you do to your skin? She goes, oh, I don't know, I wash it. Just like,
is that really what she said? She doesn't have any tips?
Yes. Like, tell me your secrets. She's like, yeah, you just gotta wash your face.
Was there something that surprised you about her when you actually finally got to work with her?
I don't know if it was surprising, but just how genuinely kind and down to earth she was. I mean, was just actually really sweet and took the time to get to know me and ask me questions. And I think it's easy to think of people like that who've reached that success as kind of untouchable and these not real people who you can't really relate to. And she was just genuinely lovely. So it was really fun, and it's cool to say that I know Queen Latifah now.
The show is all about people trying to make it in Hollywood. When was the moment for you where you knew you made it in a way?
It's hard to ever say that. I still don't feel like I made it. I mean, there's always goals that you want to achieve, and I'm so thankful for the successes that I've had so far. But it does feel sometimes like a bit of this imposter syndrome of like, wait, how am I doing these things? And I think it's kind of, I've tried to remind myself just that, you know, this is really special and important, and it's about just more than me. It's about me hopefully lending myself and my talent and my artistry to a bigger story than myself. And I think that's something like Hollywood is, and like a film like BlacKkKlansman was. But I guess kind of the pinch me moment, of course, was like being at the Oscars and seeing every person I ever saw in movies growing up, and sitting there in a dress and being there with the film with Spike Lee was, of course, a kind of surreal, very amazing experience.
Speaking of Hollywood and big roles that you've had, you were in Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'm sure that you can't say if you'd be returning to Tom Holland's third Spider-Man film, but is that a role you would love to revisit someday, or are you kind of done with that chapter?
No, I would love to. I mean, I had the best time shooting that. It was such a fun experience. It was also my first film, crazily enough, but it was so fun just being, you know, with this group of kids for a summer shooting Spider-Man, but it kind of felt like we were shooting this funny indie high school movie that then all of a sudden this guy would be like swinging around in the air. So I loved making Homecoming, and the Marvel Universe is such a special thing. So of course I would love to be a part.
And then you have a lot going on in the upcoming film Bio, starring Tom Hanks. Favorite memory of working with him? What was the takeaway of that?
I mean, it's Tom Hanks. just like Tom Hanks coming over and saying, hi, I'm so excited to be working with you is something that's incredible. And he's just like the loveliest, nicest man. He's exactly what you would think Tom Hanks is like.
Yeah, and then also in The Starling, you got Melissa McCarthy, Chris O'Dowd, Kevin Kline, Daveed Diggs, Loretta Devine. I mean, what can you tease here? What was your kind of takeaway from that set?
That was really fun for me because I think it was the first time I got to do a comedic role, which I just like kind of really went with, and it was fun to play kind of this ditzy girl who just like had a push-up bra and just flipping the hair around, and I had a lot of fun. It was great.
You can catch Laura Harrier in Hollywood, which is streaming now on Netflix. Now we move on to this. Watch.
And market.
Georgia Rule was a film that dealt with very complicated themes about family, about dysfunction in family, and about painful upbringing. Themes that were not themes that you would naturally associate Garry Marshall films with. But he wanted to tackle important themes. He wasn't afraid to go places that other directors might be nervous about.
That is Cary Elwes speaking about legendary director Garry Marshall on the new ABC special, The Happy Days of Garry Marshall. It premieres tonight.
We talked to Cary about what we can expect and what he will remember the most about working with Garry. Take a look. When someone says Garry Marshall, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
For me, it's a smile and laughter, because even though I grew up in England, I first visited the United States in, I think, 1965. I started to watch American television every summer vacation that we had here. And I got into Happy Days, and I got into Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy. So he was very much an important part of my childhood growing up. And so I just think of him with a smile. Yeah.
I remember back in what seems like another life now, when I lived in LA, I did a shoot once at his office, at Garry Marshall's office, and I'll never forget walking in there, and it felt like a living museum. His walls were covered with posters and paraphernalia from the many movies and shows that he had done, and it was like, my gosh, he's had his hands in some of the most pivotal and pop culture framing projects over the past several decades. The stories he would tell were incredible. Is that the kind of takeaway you had as well? To just sit and talk to the man was just a real
gosh. Treat. Absolutely, to pick his brain and just his humor, his sweetness, the joy of working with it. The reason he loved making movies and TV shows is that for him, that process was totally joyful. He always involved his family in the projects he was doing. I think Barbara, his wife, is in almost everything he's ever done, and his friends. And he considers his cast his friends. Once you meet Garry and work with him, it's impossible not to love the man. And so he became very much an important part of my life.
Yeah, and this special is going to cover everything from Happy Days to his movies like The Princess Diaries and more. I mean, it made us all kind of think, what's our go-to Garry Marshall film or TV show? What would you say yours is, if you had to choose? Well,
obviously, Pretty Woman is so amazing. Frankie and Johnny, I love. I love Flamingo Kid. I'm kind of a Flamingo Kid guy. I really love Matt Dillon in that. I thought he was just all his films. All of them had something for everyone, you know. But the common themes in all of his work were love of family, love of life, and love of romance, and of course, laughter. That was a key element to everything he did.
When you think back about your time doing Georgia Rule, I'm just thinking about that incredible cast, particularly Lindsay Lohan, because am I a weird fanboy? Perhaps. Maybe not weird, but maybe I'm a fanboy. She just didn't do music, whatever. She's on the radar a lot around here. What are some of your memories with working with those incredible ladies that headed up that film?
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget. Jane Fonda had to beat me up with a baseball bat. And she was so funny. She came that morning to my trailer and said, you know, I've been practicing all night long. I've been taking swings. I'm ready for this scene. I can't wait. And when we came to shoot it, we were shooting in Pasadena and a freak storm came through. Lightning and rain and everything. And we had all these lights outside of this house that we were shooting. And one of them fell over and smashed. And Garry, nothing's ever fazed Garry. And without missing a beat, this is what he said. He goes, okay, that's lunch. And that was it. This huge light came down, people freaking out, screaming, and that was his response. And that's how he was on the set.
You can check out The Happy Days of Garry Marshall premiering tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Now, watch this.
Your dad's The Big Show?
It's been a minute since I retired from wrestling, so I want to get in as much family time as I can. You, the kids, and my championship belts. Oh, you're so beautiful.
You talking to me or the belt?
You. Okay, you two, talk.
Wait, I love a good sister fight. Let me get my popcorn.
She stole my favorite jacket on ice and I lost. And I got this merit and now I'll never become the
Ooh, I think I just blacked out for a second.
The Big Show is a new comedy series on Netflix. It's about retired WWE superstar Paul "The Big Show" White. And to tell us all about it and how the adjustment to family life post-retirement works out in the show, Paul is here. Thank you for being here, Paul.
Thank you very, very much for having me. And
congrats on this.
You know, thank you. It's overwhelming. You know, I've been wanting to do a show like this for so many years, and to have the reception that it's had so far is it's overwhelming and humbling. I couldn't have asked for a better reception all the way around.
Yeah.
Amazing fans. Thank you.
Two things that I can tell are going really well for you in this quarantine phase. The beard game is on point. That is working out well, as always. And also, your cat Athena is making appearances on your Instagram. I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff developing here.
Yeah. My life has really changed. Like, for so many years, I was a dog guy. You know, I had dogs, and you know, here lately, as I've gotten older and retired, we had this little stray kitten that we adopted. I'm a cat guy now.
Turns out like, you know, I carry her around in my hand, and because we have to go inspect all the windows, like, because she looks for lizards. We live here in Florida, so the little lizards get on the windows sometimes. But we have to go on patrol, her and I, in the house. I have to take her to all the windows, and she'll look, and
she's not afraid to lay right across my computer, or she's very much pay attention to me now.
Yeah, no, I think a cat's favorite place is the keyboard when you're trying to do work. They know.
I thought that was a joke, but that's like a real thing.
Come here. My 8-year-old's looming in the side. Come here. Do you like his beard better or mine? What do you think? Do you want me to have a beard like that? You can say yes or no.
This beard's kind of scary.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But if I do it, you'll learn it from me. Okay, go back upstairs.
It's so funny.
This is now that's the version of skipping class these days. Walking down here.
Because she was supposed to be doing classwork.
Yeah. Hey, for people that aren't familiar with this show, tell us about it. Give us the pitch. What is it that people should know going into it?
Going into this is I'm WWE superstar of The Big Show, who's retired from WWE Sports Entertainment, and now I'm at home getting everybody's way. I have a wife who's managing her own career, and I have 3 daughters. I have 2 daughters that live with me, Lily Brooks, who plays Mandy, and Juliet Donafield, who plays JJ. And my oldest from a previous relationship, Raylan Castor, who plays Lola, because I'm retired, decides to move to Florida to spend more time with me. And so it's basically me, this 400-pound, menacing, ball-headed giant who now is surrounded by 4 women, and he's a pinball, and they're the pinball machine. So they're just bouncing me all over the place. So
and it goes from there. There's that juxtaposition of you, the big tough guy, then put in these environments where you come off like a fun teddy bear. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. It's just so great. There's a great scene. Dad kind of comes busting into the classroom. It's like, bring your parent day at school or whatever. Oh, there's the cat.
Okay, thank you.
There's Athena doing her thing.
Yeah, she just came right by. She literally jumped on my desk and walked right by my computer. Didn't say a word to me. Just went right by my computer.
Right by, just to make her presence and dominance known.
Pretty much, yeah.
What's the biggest difference between Dad on TV show, on this fictionalized TV show, and Dad in real life?
The amount of goofiness that the Big Show on the show gets into. Like we have a good time of poking fun at me, and we want the show to be fun.
I saw Jaleel White in the teaser trailer, and immediately Steve Urkel is involved. To me, that's a huge sort of stamp of approval and kind of takes it to the next level as someone who grew up with Family Matters.
Takes it to the next level with him because he's got so many hours of doing this, and the rhythm and the timing. And for me, you only, like in wrestling, you become a better performer, a better wrestler by working with better talent. So when you're doing multicam family comedy, I'm having the opportunity to interact with Jaleel White, who's one of the biggest stars of family multicam comedies of all time.
Right.
Work with him and learn his timing and learn just how he feeds cameras and how he can make a face and get laughed without saying a word. So it was a great learning school for me. Like class was in session when he was around, definitely.
Has your daughter seen the show? What's she think?
She loves it. Of course, she's never been impressed with me too much. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I may be the world's largest athlete and tour the world and sign autographs. And, for the longest time when she was younger, I was just the giveth and the taketh awayer of electronics. There was no excitement to my stardom or famedom. It was, you're just, that and she'll rob my wallet. If my wallet's laying down, she'll definitely leave me with like $2. So I'm like, go rob your mother's wallet. Don't rob mine. If you wouldn't touch your mother's wallet, like, if never. But mine, rob my wallet, no problem. I haven't understood that yet.
What do you miss most about WWE and that phase?
Believe it or not, I know this is crazy and probably now just because of the crazy times, but I miss the traveling sometimes. I miss things that were really hard, like some of our tours, our overseas tours, where we'd be gone 12, 14 days in a row, because that was the time that you really got to hang out with the guys and the gals and the shows, and the crowds were excited because they don't get to see us in person as often. And you're flying, you might fly, 10, 12 hours straight to get to a venue, to go straight to the arena to compete. I like that stress and pressure of having to perform under difficult circumstances and being with a good group of people that have the same energy going forward. So I miss that. I miss the crowds, the energy of the crowds. It's funny, I'm getting a little bit of that with the Big Show when we were taping that. I get that good live energy from the audience, and every week there's a new script and there's a lot of lines to remember. It doesn't help when your youngest has a photographic memory and she knows your lines and hers and everybody else's.
Puts you to shame.
Yeah, just completely like, you know, it's like, yeah, hopefully one day she'll give me a job on her show when she has her own.
So you talk about the energy of the crowd. Last month, WrestleMania aired with no crowd, no audience due to the shutdown pandemic and everything that's happening. What'd you think about that?
You know, I was a little bit of a part of it after WrestleMania went off the air, but I think it was a chance for WWE to try to give our fans something. I mean, WrestleMania just isn't about the live audience or the event itself. It's a culmination of angles all year long and storylines all year long, culminating so that you can kind of reboot for the next year. A lot of things that were going on, fans were very interested in, they devoted a lot of time to. And we felt, I felt personally as a performer, that we needed to find a way to give our fans something. We understand you can't be there in person, it's not safe, we understand that. But if there's a way we can give something to our fans at home in a different light. And I thought we knocked it out of the park with the Bray Wyatt stuff, the Undertaker stuff. You know, there were Randy Orton and Edge. There were so many things that were done that because of the way it was done, it was different. It was out of the box thinking, and it was something unique.
It's really cool. Paul, I really appreciate you taking some time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Have a groovy day. Be safe.
Thank you so much. And guys, you can catch Paul on the Big Show show. It's streaming now on Netflix.
Yeah, good point. You do that. Thanks for the plug. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, prom season is obviously being disrupted this year by schools being shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic. But the original company of the Broadway musical, The Prom, is trying to do something about it and make a very special event so that kids can still have something to look forward to. Star of The Prom on Broadway, Caitlin Kinnunen, is here to talk all about that. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello. Well, we love following along with you, Caitlin. We followed along as the Prom musical came to an end, but you're still very connected to that story. And now you're using the platform to really help out. So tell us about the virtual prom.
Yes, so the cast and company of the Prom on Broadway were talking, and we realized, you know, the show was about acceptance and love, and this LGBTQ girl whose prom got canceled because she was gay and she was not able to go to her prom. And we were talking and we were like, kids all over the country can't go to prom this year. They can't go to things that usually are such big events. They can't go to graduation, they can't go to prom. There are all of these things that they're missing. And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could hold a virtual prom for all of them? And so we created this campaign, if you will, that's hashtag Build a Virtual Prom, and we're encouraging teenagers and students all across America, all across the world, to submit videos of themselves dancing in their fanciest clothes if they feel like it, just like jamming out, feeling their best. And we're going to compile all of these videos into a worldwide virtual prom.
So cool. Tell us how it's all going to play out. Day of, when it happens, what's going to happen?
Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Well, the deadline to get videos in is May 15th now. We extended the deadline because so many people were submitting videos that we were like, oh gosh, we got to get going. So we're going to take a minute and we're going to compile all of these videos together. We still have to choose a song that it's going to go to. We're deliberating what number we want to put them all to, but we're going to just string them all together and make this fantastic video. And then on a day that is yet to be announced, because we have to figure out how long all of these videos will take to string together, we're going to release it and share it with the world. And all of these kids who submitted their videos will get to see themselves partying with all of these people from all over the place. That's what's so cool, is that it truly is from everywhere. We've gotten videos all across the US. We're getting them from the UK. We're getting them from everywhere. And it's so cool to see all of these kids coming together and celebrating. And that is what the prom was about, is like celebrating you and your own unique individual selves. And so we're just really glad to be able to continue to spread that message of love and acceptance and have a big party about it.
Love it.
What kind of dancing are you getting from students? Is it like, what's the dancing like?
It's amazing, and it's like so all over the place. We've gotten kids who are like replicating dances from the show, which is always so cool to see other people like doing our choreography. And then we've gotten some amazing, just like classic, like Leave Room for Jesus slow dances. And like kids are going all out and they're like decorating the environment they're in. There have been some like lovely awkward prom photos staged outside. You know, we are getting a hodgepodge of absolutely everything. And
if you were submitting a video, what would your dance be?
Oh, it would be something like really lame, like Running Man and some like sprinkler. Like I would go all out, classic, old school.
I got the lawnmower.
Cool at all.
A little lawnmower.
That's always a good one.
And how can fans get involved? Where should we be watching out for this thing when it's finally released?
When it's finally released, it will most likely be released on Instagram mainly. We will also be posting to Facebook and Twitter, but Instagram is really where things have taken off with it. If you want to submit your video, you can go to BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com/prom2020, and it will give you a list of things you need to do, some instructions, and it will tell you how to upload your video, or you can post them on Instagram or whatever social media platform you love with the hashtag prom, build a virtual prom.
Caitlin, glad to hear that you're safe and healthy and doing amazing things. Everyone, make sure you check out BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com/prom2020 to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, coming up tomorrow, we're talking with actress Lauren Lapkus about her new Netflix film, The Wrong Missy, and what it's like working with Adam Sandler.
Plus, we are joined by Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards, who is spilling some tea on the current season. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.